Hello and welcome to The Gist. I'm your host, Chris Vetrano, here every week breaking down all the things happening in pop culture and interviewing the stars that bring it to life. You know my guest today because she's been here before to chat all things Housewives. In fact, she was my first guest on the pod. But today she's joining The Gist to talk about her new single, People That I Love Leave, which is officially out everywhere you listen to music. Please welcome Grammy-nominated platinum recording artist Cassadee Pope.
Hi, thanks for having me back.
Of course, I'm so excited. I know last time you were here, we teased that the music was coming, but
Yeah.
now it's officially out. The first song is officially out, and people now know you have made your triumphant return to the punk pop rock scene.
Thanks. I mean, I'm so far so good. I'm very excited to be back and, I just feel like I'm like back home. It feels
Yeah.
very natural. It feels very me and I don't know, the whole thing from like the writing of this song to the recording of it to like getting it mastered to filming the music video that's coming out soon. It all has felt so just like it just makes sense. It
Yeah.
feels very good.
It's just very authentically you. It's like
Yeah.
it has a little bit of everything. Like obviously you've done it all. You fronted Hey Monday, and kind of that was your first for or entry point into this kind of punk rock scene. And then obviously solo, you went and won The Voice in season 3. You were on Team Blake, so it felt natural. You made a move to Nashville, and thank God you did, because that's how we met.
I
And
know.
and so you did a very solid run in country for the last many years, 10 years, I think. And now you're back, and it's exactly where you belong. And it feels like you must have that feeling of like, I'm home again.
Yeah, I do. And I feel like the past 3 years, really specifically, I've felt a bit disconnected from country music. And I realized I really wasn't listening to it very much. And I was definitely like disagreeing with a lot of just the fundamental things that you kind of have to believe and do and say as a country artist, like not including the artists that speak out on things that I'm
Mm-hmm.
passionate about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just sort of like assumed and expected of you to like walk this line and just like not speak out of turn. And I've just really grown over the last 4 years in my passion and like um, my activism. So I don't really want to feel like if I say something about just like basic human rights that I'm going to be like blacklisted in a
Yeah.
genre and be
Yeah.
told you're not country anyway if you think these things. And so that started to really just like that started to, I guess, nudge me in this direction. And then my last record, Thrive, was really just like a bridge, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like, from
Yeah.
country into pop punk. And now I'm fully in. So feels good.
Yeah. Yeah, you had been sitting on a lot of those songs that were on Thrive for like a long time, that even like dated back to some of your old kind of pre-voice days. And so it like you were sort of reintroducing that sound into what you were sort of doing before, so not to alienate the people that had come to find you from The Voice and the work that you had done on Frame by Frame and other things. But
Yeah.
now it's like, even with People That I Love Leave, I feel like it's like a very natural transition. It doesn't feel like, there's been some artists, I think really famously and maybe very notably, like Pink is one of those artists who, like, she came out, she was almost like a rap artist, and then her second record was such a completely different thing. And it obviously worked out so well for her. It was much more successful than her first,
Yeah.
but it was like it did feel very different to like who she was as a brand and an artist. And this doesn't feel like you've changed everything about who you are, or the sound that you're delivering on this song. So it feels very
Thanks.
natural.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've always kept that like pop rock thing intact, even when I did country music. So I agree, and I haven't really been seeing anybody say like, "Whoa, what happened?"
Yeah.
So I don't think it's really shocking anyone that I made this decision. But yeah, that's nice to hear. Thank you.
Yeah. And I mean, why? Because obviously, as a lot of people that are probably listening to this know, that we're very good friends. And so
Hmm.
I have gotten the pleasure of getting to like sample some of the other music that you have been working on. And my God, it is so good. I can't wait
Thank
for people to
you.
hear more of what you've gotten. But tell me why People That I Love Leave felt like the right song to sort of do this reintroduction to this genre.
I really wanted to lead with an up tempo, something that people could move to. I also felt like it was one of the most digestible songs that I have. There's some songs that I know you've heard that are like a big departure,
Hmm.
it's bold lyrics that
Yeah,
I'm not used to saying, things like that, that I kind of want to save for when I get everyone reacclimated and get
right.
everybody to kind of like, okay, this is where she's going. I'm on board or I'm not, whatever it may be. So I kind of wanted I felt like this song was like a really good entry point for me.
Hmm.
And also, I am like working on getting on tour and getting on festivals and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to lead with a high energy song because that'll help me achieve that.
Yeah,
But I also wrote this song with one of my closest friends who, Ali Tamposi.
yeah,
We've known each other since we were 4 years old, and now she's like this massive pop writer. Well, she's just a massive songwriter. She's
yeah.
not only done like Camila Cabello and Dua Lipa, but she's also done Ozzy Osbourne
Yeah, I
and
was gonna
like,
say rock.
yeah, rock too. So she's on the track, which also makes this next chapter feel like sentimental too.
Mhm.
Like it's not just, I feel like the song could be a hit. I feel very like sentimental about the whole
Yeah.
thing too. So that's why I really wanted to choose that one.
Yeah, and it's very infectious. It has, you know, lyrics that I think people can really relate to, which I think is something that you've always done. You've always written lyric that feels relatable in some way, and I think whether this, song specifically speaks to, a relationship, or it speaks to a friendship, or it speaks to insecurities about other things, and, people leaving your life, like, doesn't actually have to be like literally people leaving your life. It could be a sense of feeling like alone, and it's why you have walls up, and other things. And so the song is very relatable, and I think relatable songs are the ones that seem to do the best, and they get the most mass appeal because so many people can really identify with it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've always struggled with like abandonment issues. Like as you know, my dad left when I was a kid, and I've definitely not had like great examples of men in my life who stick around and don't betray you in some way or another. So this song was just like, I wrote it more for the relationship side of things, but like you said, like I love that people are interpreting it in different ways. It could be about friends, family members, like jobs. You can't keep a job, maybe, like whatever it may be. Things that you're afraid to get too attached to, because of like past traumas or things that never seem to stick. So like I have been getting a lot of people saying they relate, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but thank you. Like it's not a great thing to have to relate to, but
I'm sorry that you feel connected to a lyric about people leaving, but but it is true. Like anyone can relate to these types of things, and could be somebody that like left your life. Like obviously, I've dealt with a lot of like people that have unfortunately passed away in my life, and
Hmm.
that can relate in that kind of way too. And so
Yeah.
it doesn't always have to be so literal, and it it is nice to have those types of songs that you can really rely on, that like when you're feeling a certain way. But what I love is that we're kind of getting heavy in this and not is like talking about a lot of like loss, and a lot of the like darkness of what maybe the song is like undertoning about. But what's so
Hmm.
nice is that the song is like so it's so bright, it's so fresh, it like actually makes you feel good when you're listening to it. And so
Hmm.
even though the like lyrics are like a bit like sad, or a little bit like, oh, there is something, or like I can relate because I am putting up walls, you're still sort of like, you take ownership of it, and it's like it feels empowering, and it's like still anthemic.
Hmm.
And so I think that's why I love it, and so I'm super excited about it.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want people to feel validated in their feelings, and sometimes you gotta like throw in a, I don't know, happy seeming vibe sonically to offset the sadder lyric. So
Yeah.
thanks.
Well, and I also love too because, traditionally, especially since you were doing like frame by frame, and like you're obviously your platinum single Wasting All These Tears, like people know you as this powerhouse vocalist. And so a lot of times like the power ballad is the one that like you've been like really known for. And so I
Yeah.
think that this is like really exciting, because every time that you perform live, I'm always like, she needs to be on a bigger stage. This is a bigger show. Like you have so much energy, and like that girl on the Vans Warp Tour has never left you. Like you're ready to like
No.
do that again. And this song is like will deliver on that too. So I can't wait to see it live.
Oh, I can't wait to play it live. I'm ready.
Yes. And you mentioned a video, so that's coming soon. So is there anything like that you feel like you've done differently with this video, like given that it's like a new genre for you? Is there anything that you can tease about the video?
I'm bringing in a few guys to be in it, a few actors to be in it. And it's different because since my last music video, I've been in acting classes for
Mhm.
almost a year, and I do feel like I've improved with my acting chops. And the guys that are in the video are actually actors from the acting studio that I go to. So I really love that. I'm bringing in kind of like the family. Obviously, Nashville is not the first place you think of when you think of actors and studios and TV and film, but we're really, all trying to like make sure all of our ships rise. And so I wanted to not just go through an agency and see like what actors I could get. I really wanted to go to the place that I've really like felt like I have a new family. So the actors are great, and I think we killed the whole storyline part of the video. So yeah.
I mean, to your credit though, you have always been an actress. Even if you haven't been like taking, I remember the stories of you filming Wasting All These Tears videos
Oh,
and acting in that. I mean, there you've done some real acting chops. So this won't be your
oh,
first
thanks.
like entry into it, but I love that you're introducing people from that side of your life now and into the project. And I think that again makes it feel so authentic to who you truly are.
Yeah, yeah, it's a part of my life that I've really fallen in love with, that I never pursued before, because I always thought that it would take time and energy away from music, and it's been the opposite. Like all it does is help me in my music. It helps me in my stage presence and just like emoting when I sing and stuff like that. So I'm excited about that aspect of my career, but yeah, I like that I got to do that in the video.
And you also get to test out your chops on TikTok, because you have become quite the TikToker. I cannot figure it out. And like every
You're
time I'm on there,
doing
you have something that's just like so funny. And you just like,
great.
you've learned how to like master like the funny TikToks. I can't do any of the like lip syncing things over like the whatever
You've
it is.
done it.
I know, but it's very hard. It has to be something I'm very familiar with, like Clueless,
Yeah.
but like you will like take something and you're just like right on it, and it's like, "Oh, this could have been your like I mean, you are basically like ready to like be starring with like Kristen Wiig."
Oh, God, that is a dream. Are you kidding? I would die. I just have to like listen to the sound 1,000 times before I do it. It's not like I'm like, woohoo, let's just do this in 5 seconds. So, but thank you for saying that. I have fun with it. It's like as soon as I saw TikTok as a tool and
Mhm.
like this will help me, I started really embracing it. Before I would roll my eyes at it. I was really annoyed that I had to have another thing that I have to be like a master at,
Right.
because the landscape keeps changing for music. And
Mhm.
um, after being in it for so long, I've seen it happen 1,000 times, but I just embraced it, and now it's fun. And now it's like, all right, if it gets banned and canceled, then I just did all that work for nothing. But it's fine.
Not for nothing, because people will still find you. Like they will
Yeah,
still like find an outlet where they can, and hopefully they'll already have downloaded the single and they'll be following all
yeah,
the ones to come. But yeah, it is strange. I mean, I know you and I have had this conversation a lot personally, and I know you have talked about this with other artists that you are friends with in the industry. It's like it's so wild right now that TikTok is truly sort of driving so much of the industry, and like a lot of artists that are tied to labels or tied to specific contracts, it's like they won't, like, labels won't invest in a music video for a song until it reaches a certain level on TikTok. And it's like,
Yeah.
we're giving so much to this social media platform that, I mean, for an artist like you who has been around and in this industry for so long, almost predating all of these social platforms, like, that's got to just feel so different in the way in which you promote and bring this music to life, I have to
Yeah, I
imagine.
mean, like TikTok is part of the strategy now. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, okay, but when are we going to start teasing it on TikTok and that kind of thing? But like, I personally, I know that it's important, so I am focusing on it. I am like honoring that, but I'm also in the back of my head, like, I don't want TikTok to be the only thing that I focus on and that I'm doing well on. Like, I want to make sure that I'm touring and that I'm like releasing good content on other platforms. Like, I never want to just rely on one place for people to find my music and for people to get to know me. So like that's been huge for me because I've met people who, and I'm 33, so like I don't think that I'm too old for TikTok, but it's not like I didn't, grow up with it in a way of like Gen Z's like growing up
Hmm.
with it. I'll meet someone who has like 30 million TikTok followers and I have no clue who they are. And it's like,
Right.
that's fine. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm saying I don't think people focus enough on all the platforms. It is what it is. Like, it's whatever you want your career to be. But for me personally, like, I think I benefit more when I'm focusing on Facebook and
Yeah.
Instagram and all of the other things.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have to, because I think the other thing is, like, you've got, as you just mentioned, you can have somebody on TikTok that's got 30 million followers, but you have never heard of them. And 30 million people followed them because of probably one or two of their like TikToks that like went viral in some kind of way. Maybe they're doing something funny, maybe they're, singing a song, but
Yeah.
did that song ever chart? Did that song ever
Right.
actually like go the distance? Is that person out touring and like building that fan base? And that is so much of what the industry used to be, is going out and hitting the road and meeting your fans and building long relationships, which you have done. I have met a lot of your fans who, even to this day, they follow me
Yeah.
and reach out to me about things and want my opinion on your new music and all of that stuff. And
Yeah.
and that's something that's so cool, because you actually have this relationship with fans. And I think that's what is missing in the TikTok era, is that it's
Hmm.
not really a relationship, it's just a follow, it's just a number at that point. And
Yeah.
really what's behind it, I don't know. So it's good that
Yeah.
you're doing all the things, but you have learned how to also do the TikTok. So
Yes, doing the dick,
love it.
doing the dick doc.
Yes. That in itself
I'm
could
doing
be
that as well.
that could be a viral TikTok moment.
Oh
We just
yeah.
landed
Ooh,
it.
I gotta write that down.
Yeah. Doing the TikTok. Um, no, but so switching gears a little bit, and again, as you're kind of like moving into this new space, as we talked about, the industry is very different. The
Yeah.
landscape is very different in the world, as you kind of mentioned, alluded to, with like the exit from country. How are you, or where are you pulling sort of influences? And this could be musically, but it could also be like from a branding perspective. Like, how are you thinking about putting all of this new package that you're delivering now out, and like, who are you drawing inspiration from?
I've never done the like just release a bunch of singles for a while. I've done like two singles and then an album.
Hmm.
But I would really like to focus on just taking it one song at a time for a minute, making sure that each song gets like a fair shake and just like put awesome content around it out. But I just want to get on the road. So like
Hmm.
that's been the main conversation I've had with my team is, obviously I need new music out to be considered for certain things. And so just getting that started was like a huge win. But just in general, making sure that I'm being positioned the right way. Like you mentioned earlier, I've been in country music for 10 years. And from public perception to the algorithms,
Hmm.
I'm a country artist to a lot of
Hmm.
people still. And so I have to make sure people know that that's not what I'm doing anymore. And I'm going back to the thing that I did before country music. A lot of
Hmm.
people don't realize that I
Yeah.
started in pop punk. So that's like that has to be intentional. And so that's just like a very big focus for me. But I have like 10 songs that are in a Dropbox folder that I'm really excited about, and I love them all pretty much equally. So I'm really leaning on like my friends and my team to like help me choose
Yeah.
which is coming next. But
Yeah.
I definitely have enough songs for a record. It's just now
Yeah.
just a matter of making sure everything's rolled out like with enough time to where people are still engaged, but not too long to where people lose their attention span and all of
Yeah.
that. So, and like inquiring about different features, which is exciting. So there's
Mhm.
just a lot of balls in the air right now. But
It's interesting that you brought up the strategy of releasing the one song at a time, because as we are talking about like the TikTok world, and streaming is another thing that has changed so much from when you put out your first record.
yeah,
And like the I mean, even when you were on The Voice, like that was when you were still, when people still like bought singles on iTunes. It was like before people were just streaming music all the time. And that has changed so much. And it's so weird to me because I, grew up loving music, and it was like everybody had the same formula. It was like you released a single, maybe released your second single, then the album, and then had like one more or two more singles. If it was a really successful album, you might
yeah,
have gone like four or five deep. But it was like that was always the formula. And like the album had a tour, it had all of the things that kind of came with it, music videos, things that excited people. And the way that people are releasing albums today is like wild to me, because it's like they're dropping their like two or three songs, they put out all the music videos the day the album comes out, and then it's like if that album doesn't do a lot, you like don't hear about it again. And it's
mm-hmm,
like it doesn't even mean that it's a bad record or that it didn't have like the power. It's just you gave everything away so soon, and then it's like now it's out there and people are over it. And because we're in this TikTok era where everything's short and our attention spans are different. And
yeah,
so it's interesting. I think that you're on to something. And I know that there are a lot of artists that are out there kind of doing the same thing of like, I want to give every song its due. I want to like
mm-hmm,
promote this song. I want to put a video out. I want people to like fall in love with this song. And then I can give them something more and do the same thing with that song. Because I mean, as someone who may or may not have access to this said Dropbox, like I have heard all these songs, and every song is like, oh, this doesn't feel like an album song. It feels
mm-hmm,
like you're writing all of your music to be released as a single, because everything is so powerful, everything is so different, everything just like it's all next level.
mm.
And yeah, it would be sad to sort of like give it all away, and then it like you have to move on essentially to the next project. And I can't imagine what that's like for some of those artists.
Yeah, and I think like I'm just I love writing. I'm definitely a songwriter, but I also I'm not one of those people when I've written the album, when I'm working on the album and I'm in album mode, that I'm like already writing for the next thing.
Hmm.
Um, I'm kind of like a one project at a time kind of person. This is the first time in my whole career that I'm writing while I have a single out. Like I've always had to like take things one thing at a time.
Hmm.
And I think that people that do that have that ability, that are able to write 5 days a week no matter what, that's probably why they are able to just release an album and then all these videos at the same time, and then be able to do another record like a few months later. And
Hmm.
I think with the attention span being so short now for consumers, it is like, when you release a record, you have to kind of be prepared to hear, okay, so when's the next one coming in like the next month? It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
So, it's like everybody's different, and some artists have fan bases that consume music differently. So I'm just kind of going off of what I think I see working for me.
Hmm.
And, and I also know like the strategy that I'm doing is, I have to get people to understand what this is going to be. It's not going to be what I've done before. So just like not, dropping a whole record before people even realize that I'm not doing country music anymore. Like I
Yeah.
needed to just get everybody on that page and then hit them with the record.
Yeah. Um, no, absolutely. And I think, I mean, and and there's other ways of packaging that too. Some people have done, a couple of singles and then they release an EP and then they do a couple more singles and another EP and then they package the two EPs as an album. And, and I think that
Yep.
there's so many different ways you can kind of do that that gives it the right life form. Cause I mean, we were talking about Camila Cabello, or you mentioned her with Ali, and she's someone that like, she released her last record the day that it came out. It was like, here's 3 videos, here's all the things. She did like a big TikTok promotion where she did a big live show of every song. And then it was like the album it was like all the content is there now.
Right.
And I'm sure fans are like, when's her next project coming? What's next for her? And
Mm-hmm.
it's like she's probably spent a year plus on that one, like putting all
Yeah.
that content
Oh my
together,
God.
and it
Yeah.
all
It
came
takes
out within like a
forever.
week. It's like, it's
Yeah.
sad, but
Yeah. That's
um
weird.
so
Mm.
kind of, and speaking about like influences and stuff, obviously like Avril has been one that you've talked about a lot, but is there anybody that's like kind of new that you're like really kind of drawing as like either inspiration or just an artist that you feel like I am inspired by them, maybe not their sound necessarily, but it gives you the inspiration to go write a hit song?
Yeah, I fell in love with Ceilings by Lily McAlpine. Is that how you say it? Lizzie McAlpine. Um, it's like almost like a stream of consciousness, and I've never been good at that kind of lyric. Like that's just not how I write. I'm very like you tell the story and it like conversational lyrics I really like. But an artist like her, I think Tate McRae does it really well too. Like just stream of consciousness kind of lyric that like is literally how our brains work.
Mm-hmm.
So when I hear a song like that, I'm just so drawn to it because it is how that's our inner workings. Like we don't think well thought out things all day. We're like, I'm sitting on a Zoom. Oh, Sam's paintbrush is right there, and oh, look at his like like our brains literally just go all over the place and within the span of like a second. So I love songs like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then more like sonically, I really love I really love this band Biffy Clyro, and I've just really had fun like drawing influence from their stuff
Mm-hmm.
because obviously they're a rock band with a male singer and it's very like intense and huge sounding, and then I just feel like with my voice on a track like that it's just a whole different thing. But I love hearing my voice over something dark and gritty and just like powerful like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've really loved to play with like a Biffy Clyro inspiration as well.
Yeah. And I know you've also gotten to perform with a lot of your sort of inspirations, your musical like icons,
Yeah.
um, which I mean is amazing that you've gotten to perform with so many people. Is there anyone that you have yet to that I mean, I'm sure there are, but who I guess would be the people that you're like, these are the top 3 that I have yet to perform with that I would love to?
Definitely Blink 182. They are my favorite band of all time.
Yep.
I think, I mean, obviously I'm not doing country anymore, but Shania Twain is like a huge,
Mm-hmm.
huge influence for me. And I would love to perform with her. And she's so genre bending now with like who she's bringing on tour and everything that I don't think that would be like the craziest thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and you guys are
and
both rocking pink hair.
yeah, we could just match. And Rihanna. Rihanna is my queen.
Oh
I
my.
love her so much. And she's like, I think people probably have picked up on this, but she's definitely like a rock chick. She loves rock
Mhm.
music. So I think we would be a really good fit together. So
Yeah.
that's my dream for sure.
Yeah, I'm imagining. I mean, I loved Good Girl Gone Bad. That record is one of my favorite
Oh
Rihanna
yeah.
records,
Yeah.
and I feel like there's like a lot of sort of rock influence in some of
Mm-hmm.
that, and she
Mm-hmm.
does it in a way that like makes it really pop and makes it really mainstream. But there's some songs on there where yeah, you definitely feel like she knows her way around the rock genre.
I agree. Yeah, she's like you can tell she's got a lot of different influences, and that's why her music's always so interesting and cool. Is because like she probably draws from all different genres, but oh, I just love her so much.
Well, we got to make that happen. I
I
think
know,
that would be
right?
amazing. I mean, I feel like she's barely working these days, but
I know. She doesn't really need to. She's like,
she's
let's
like,
do the Super Bowl. Sure.
Savage Fenty. She's like, I'm a billionaire. She's like, what else? I could do the
Yeah,
Super Bowl, I guess, but I don't even have to release a record with it.
I
I'll just
know.
drop a baby instead.
I'll just
Uh,
drop a baby.
yeah,
Oh,
she would be really epic to kind of have like a resurgence and like some new music. I would love to hear her do something a
yeah.
little bit more, not in kind of the same genre or space that she's kind of fallen into over the last like couple of records, and do something a
Hmm.
little bit more rock influenced. And if she did, like obviously that would make a ton of sense for you guys.
Then maybe I have a little maybe a little sliver of hope if she did that.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, and so another thing is that, and people don't realize probably, that you have really done this project completely on your own. And that's like a very different thing for you. You have always kind of had, the team of people that are kind of help. You always have had your hand in everything. You've always had a say, and you always like get to pick creative directions and things like
Hmm.
that. But this is like, you're really starting to see some of the things that maybe you even didn't realize, like, that was being done to sort of get your music out there, and the things that you had to
Yeah.
do to prepare for it. How has this process been different for you? And then, yeah, I guess, how has this process been different?
I mean, it's all around. Everything about it has been different because, as you know, I haven't had a manager for a while now. I had some help kind of like tying up loose ends toward the end of last year. And then the beginning of this year was like, okay, I've got no manager. And I've been looking for one. I've been taking meetings and all that stuff, but that's a role that you just can't like settle. You can't. You have to be so excited about that because that's the most personal relationship you'll have in your career. And so I've had options, but I've just not gone for it.
Mhm.
So and then I just was like not willing to wait for a manager to release this new music. I felt like, you know what, I'm not on tour right now. I can handle it. Like I can really and then I can learn a lot too, which I have. It's been really hard, but I have learned so much about just like overall like uploading a single onto my distributor's website. Like that
Mhm.
that in itself I never had to do myself. I've always had a manager do that for me. But even just like setting up my music video shoot and writing the treatment for it, which I've done in the past, but talking, directly with the director for weeks and weeks and weeks, and styling myself for it, to hiring the producer that I wanted, and also just a lot of different producers on this record. Usually, I'd go in and to get the whole record produced by one person, but I've just if I love the demo that we did the day of the right, I'll just be like, can you spruce it up a bit? And then that's what I'll use. And
Mhm.
you're the producer for the song. And that's been really fun. The conversations about like logistics have been
Mhm.
not fun, but I'm learning a lot. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm like learning about like what's fair and what's not fair. And everybody's been so patient and so like forthcoming with the information. And I did bring on a digital team about like a month and a half ago, and they've been so helpful. I brought on a PR team around the same time, and they've been really great as well. So, but just in general, like building out my team from scratch basically has been super new to me because I've
Yeah.
had like a management company who has an in-house digital person or an in-house, digital design person or whatever. So
Mhm.
like I'm like cherry picking the people that I feel like make sense for the project, and that's been really fun. But it's a lot of work. It's
Yeah.
really really intense. But I'm like pretty sure I found a manager, so
Yeah.
that's exciting.
Yeah, and it's not, but I wanted to make sure that that was said on this space, because it is a lot of work, and there's a lot of artists that never actually have to think about any of those things that you did. And you've been in this industry for so long, so you've been so fortunate that you have not had to like really hustle and have some of those hard conversations and really figure out what the strategy is and sort of bounce ideas off of the wall and
Yeah.
do a lot of stuff on your own that you've never had to. And it's a lot of work, and you got it to where it is, right? Because this song, like you mentioned, you brought on digital team, you brought on a PR, you're like in the final stages of conversations potentially with a manager, like, but that's to set you up from what you've already done and for them to take what you've already built, all of these potential 10 songs or more potentially, like, and take it to the next level. You have delivered what you've delivered today, and I think that is super, like, just you should be, I want people to really recognize that, because there isn't a lot of artists that do all of the things that you've been doing, especially artists who have had such a career the way that you have, that would be willing to just say, you know what, that's not going to work for me right now. And I know what I want to be. And I'm going to just pick up the pen and I'm going to do it all on my own. And, so that should be applauded and recognized. And, I, as
Thank
your friend,
you.
am very, very proud of you, because I know how hard you have worked and I know
Mm.
that it has not been an easy road. And just some of it is just like the amount of time that it has taken you away from other things. And I get
Yeah.
that. And so I'm super proud of you. And I think that this single should, I mean, I have to imagine, I'll let you say or confirm, but I have to imagine that there's something about this song that also feels even more personal as a result of all the work that you've put in.
Yeah. Well, thank you for saying all of that. That means a lot. Yeah, this song is just kind of like, I feel like it symbolizes so much, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone as far as just like the security blanket of what country music has been for me. Even though it hasn't fully embraced me the past few years, it still felt like it's always going to be there. I have like success in that genre. So like I still get offers and still get for
Mhm.
shows and whatever. So choosing to step away from that. I needed to grieve that for a sec. And also just trusting that there is a place for me in pop rock and pop punk, and that I'm not like too old for it. I'm not like this old chick coming in with all these new young chicks that are killing it. Like I had to get past that too, because like I look around and I'm so inspired and so impressed with all like the new generation of these like rock chicks. Um, and then just like kind of finding out that they are inspired by me and like what
Mhm.
I have done with my
Mhm.
like that's blown my mind, is just like seeing these people that are killing it, that are like Jax,
Mhm.
winning the new artist of the year at iHeart, who's inspired by me and
Mhm.
Hey Monday and all that. So I just kind of letting myself accept all those things and letting them feel good instead of like shying away from that. That's been really important for me to release this song with like such confidence and excitement. Like I genuinely am excited for what's to come, and it feels, yeah, just feels really good. So
Yeah. Well, and also, like, you, you're not too old for it. You're not also not like coming into the scene. Like, you have to remember and
Mhm.
empower yourself to know that you were the OG. You were there before all of these people. That's why they're looking at you as their influences. And so you're, just because you took a little detour, you pivoted into country, which was something that you loved as a child and growing up, and you had so many influences. I mean, you just mentioned Shania Twain and all
Yeah.
of that. And so you took this like detour into that space because that felt right at the time. But what feels right now is like going back, as we've called it, home so many times,
Hmm.
I think today, is like you are back home. And so you're not
Hmm.
even like new on the scene. You're there, you're established. It's just now reminding everyone that, like, oh yeah, this is what she does in this space. And
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be really great.
Thank you. I hope so. I'm trying.
And you've been rocking the like pink hair, and I
It's
love
really
it.
faded. Every time I wash it, it turns a different color. It's like I need to figure something out. This is ridiculous. Like this doesn't even look pink anymore. It's like, what even is that?
It is pink. It's like a blondish pink. I
Oh,
love it. I love it when it's like
oh,
this. I mean, because
okay.
you went like really, really pink for a while. You were like really hot pink, and
Yes.
then you did more of this like muted, faded pink, which I think is
Yeah.
like it's like a cool summer. It makes me feel like you're gonna be on the beach next. Maybe that'll be your
Oh,
next video.
I I'm just gonna make it the next video so I can go to the damn beach. I want the beach so bad.
Uh,
I'm dying.
I know it. You did have that epic beach video. Summer
It's
was
hard to top that. Yeah.
it's an amazing video. If any of you have not seen that, I urge you to, when you're done listening here, go watch Summer, because it's an incredible and very sexy video.
It's a different side of me that you'll be seeing. All the sides, actually.
All the sides, yes, exactly. So, and then obviously the last time you were here, we talked Housewives. But are there any kind of like pop culture moments so far this year that you're like, these are the things I've been obsessed with?
I mean, I know you've already talked uh, a lot about Scandoval, so I'm obsessed with that.
Yeah. I mean, who isn't?
I mean, I'm down to talk about that if you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, tell
I,
me your thoughts on it. I definitely wanna hear. I mean, this is the thing, we can never talk about Scandoval too much. Like, there's a
I
little part of me
know.
that's like, "Oh god, we just keep talking about Scandoval," but it keeps giving, so it's like, we
It,
gotta talk about it.
yeah, there's like all these new things that keep coming out every freaking day about it. But I guess my thing that I couldn't believe how it affected me.
Mhm.
Like I was so blown away at how I was consumed by it for days. I was like asking strangers about it. I was at Pilates, like the person next to me, like, did you see Santa? And like people are like, what are you talking about? It was just I was embarrassed at how much it affected my daily life, and like to the point where I would just talk to Sam about it, my boyfriend, for those of you who
Mhm.
don't know. And it like he was such a trooper, but like we're pretty good about, he talks to me a little bit about Warhammer, but he doesn't go to great lengths to try and describe it to me because he knows that it's like I'm not going to really retain it. That was not a tool for me. I was just like telling him all of it. And I just needed to tell somebody.
Yeah.
I just needed to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I hope I'm not the only one. That was just like consuming.
No, I know. Well, when it broke, you had like, I feel like it was a couple of weeks after you had just been on, but I
Yeah.
also knew that we were planning to do this around the single, and I was like, oh gosh, I feel like I need to get Cassidy on and get her thoughts on Scandoval, because like we got to like break into like all of this stuff is like breaking news. But then
Yep.
I felt like, I mean, especially on this platform, I felt like I couldn't keep up. I was like, if I'm going
Yeah.
to talk about this, I have to talk about it real time, because tomorrow every part of this story is going to be different. Like
Yeah. I
everything
know.
you learned is no longer the reality anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I think as of like yesterday, like Ariana might have like done a hard launch of a new boyfriend on her Instagram.
Yeah, I don't know. She definitely like posted a photo of holding a hand at
But
Coachella, but
But didn't a friend say like love seeing my friends happy?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if she's playing with us. I can't. Nothing has been confirmed. Maybe by the time this comes out in a couple of days, that will have been confirmed. Maybe she will like have officially hard launched like with a tag. But like
Okay.
there was a group photo, and yes, they did look like they were there, but somebody had like done some, these Bravo fans go deep, and they like scout out stuff that you've like never would have thought to find.
Oh
And
no.
apparently this guy's like been around for a while. So I don't know if like maybe it's
Okay.
something that like they just sparked romance as in the midst of her heartbreak, or if this is just sort of a friend that they're like, just
Yeah.
giving the world a little bit of something to talk about.
I personally, I don't know Ariana, but I will say she doesn't seem like the kind of person that just like puts something on Instagram to get people talking. Like she during that whole like thing where it came out, she could have done so much with that.
Mhm.
She could have done interviews, she could have done like gone crazy on socials and just blasted that. She didn't do anything. Like
No.
she handled it so pro, and I was like, who is her like publicist? Like they're genius, you know, because it just made her more popular because like she
Right.
wasn't speaking and people were just like glued to her socials, waiting, 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 and you know, she gained like crazy amounts of followers on all the platforms. But I don't know, I'm choosing to believe that it's real because I
Yeah.
don't think she's like thirsty like that.
I want her to be super happy, and I hope that she does bounce back and has, some amazing romance. I think, and I think, obviously she's not going on the Howie Mandel show and
Mm,
having a dumpster fire interview and all of.
what a disaster.
Oh, yeah, you guys can tune into our last episode, Sandoval Speaks, which is where I break down everything that happened on that hour and 18 minutes that I will never get back. I don't know why I watched that interview. It was horrible. But yeah, I mean, I also think that Ariana is respectful enough to the show. I think she understands that, like, this is about to play out on the series, and
Yeah,
then we've got a reunion where we're going to talk about it. And Andy did a one-on-one interview with her and Sandoval both for the reunion special. And
hmm,
so I think that, like, she's respectful in that, because I know that the cast, I've heard from a source that the the cast has been told to stop with all of the, like, behind the scenes stuff. They keep going on podcasts and their own podcasts and talking
yeah,
about every single detail, and they have been asked to stop doing it because it's potentially ruining the storyline. And
yeah.
Tom Sandoval completely blindsided Bravo producers with this Howie Mandel interview, where he basically says everything that, like, is going to debunk all of what we're about to see, and the story that they're building up, and all the things that came out at the reunion. He's kind of
Wow.
spilling too much, and, like, now it, for some people it will feel spoiled. I think, like, we all at this point can see through the Sandoval of it. but
Yeah,
um but yeah, I think that that's part of it too, because I think Ariana is such a cool chick that she's like, I'm gonna let it play out, and then, like, maybe she will have, like, her own sit down and say something,
yeah.
or maybe she'll do, like, a podcast and be like, here's everything from my perspective of how it went down. But she's letting it play out first, and also I hope she's just living her best, like, hot girl summer, because she's looking
She's
great,
busy. She's in a movie. She's
booked and
working with
busy.
Bloomingdale's. She's like on going to be on Dancing with the Stars. She can't go on Howie Mandel's show.
Yeah,
She's
she doesn't
busy.
she doesn't have an hour and 18 minutes to talk to someone who has never seen the show before.
No,
Did you see any of the
most
Howie?
random. I watched for about 10 minutes and I couldn't stomach
Yeah,
him.
yeah. It
Sandoval, not Howie. He's fine.
Well,
But I yeah
it was so silly. I mean, the first 10 minutes alone were the wildest. I was like, this is chaos, because Howie had literally didn't know who this person was that was sitting there. He had done no homework. He, like, didn't, as Tom's talking about stuff, he's just, like, looking around, like, he's so confused about, like, what are we talking about? And he keeps looking at his daughter like, do you know what this is? Like, do we need to stop this interview? Like, I have no clue what this guy's talking about.
well, it's just funny because it's like I don't know. I'm not saying that Tom Sandoval would get a show canceled or like Howie Mandel is going to lose fans from it, but like I personally think you like, shouldn't you vet your guests and
Yeah.
make sure like you know, he's kind of like hated right now, and I
Yeah.
know that everybody deserves their chance to say their piece, but like I don't know, it doesn't seem like the best. No, it probably got a lot of hits. I was going to say it doesn't seem like the best move, but he probably got a lot of viewership.
Well, it was also a favor because Tom Sandoval's band's manager is married to Howie Mandel's manager. So there was a
Oh,
connection. That's how it, like, made. So I think that they were looking for, we've got to do
wow.
some damage control. We got to get you on an interview where you can tell your side of the story, because we know, from things that we've read in the media, that after the Scandoval came out, there was a scene filmed uh, that
That
Sandoval
he
did
was
not like. He felt like the
right.
story did not go in his favor. He was not happy with it. He told Bravo producers that he would quit the show if they didn't refilm it. They are not refilming it.
Yep.
I have heard that he also was not liking the way that things were going down at the reunion, and that he didn't feel like he had a fair, like, chance to say his piece. And so I think that they were getting ahead of all of that with, like, let's give him his opportunity to speak. And so they went to, someone that they could pull a favor in. And I mean, Bravo is pretty upset about it, and who knows? Like he said on Howie Mandel, he was like, the ratings are higher than they've ever been because of me. So, I obviously will be back. But
Stop.
yeah, no, he was like, I'm not obligated to go back because they asked, like, do you have to go back? He's like, I'm not obligated, but like ratings are the highest they've ever been because of this. So,
Okay. Here's what I'll say about that. If
yes.
you didn't know about Scandoval, this season, Tom Sandoval is the least entertaining one of them all. Like, if you did not know about all of this,
Yeah.
I could take him or leave him. He has not entertained me at all.
Yeah.
It's James, Raquel, Katie,
Um,
Sheena, like Allie, I guess. Like those that they have been carrying the shit. Sandoval has not done shit for me.
yeah.
So like, okay, your like awful behavior is why more people are watching. Like, why are you proud of that?
Yeah.
It's
No,
so
I
weird.
think it's a little bit of the like Jax Taylor syndrome of like Jax always being like, I'm the number one guy in the group. And on the final reunion that he had, he made some comment of like, this is my show.
Oh yeah,
And
and
it
Vanderpump got
blew up.
pissed.
Oh yeah. And then he wasn't back the next season. And it's like,
Yeah,
so I don't know, Tom, like don't get too comfortable with those Vanderpump checks because you may not be asked back because I would be much
yeah,
more interested in following whatever Ariana's doing next, right? Like I don't want to even have to
absolutely.
deal with seeing the two of them together. I don't need him on my screen, and I certainly
Yeah.
don't need Raquel on my screen.
Oh God, I know. But you know what is so frustrating is instead of doing all this gaslighting and making it like Ariana is the reason that he did this terrible thing, he could kind of like look at the handbook of Bravo comebacks. How many people have done terrible things, not just on Bravo, but on Vanderpump Rules,
Hmm.
and have had a redemption season where they've done the work, they've changed. You can see that they've really tried, and like the friend group starts coming around, and like that I love watching that. And I'm not saying that like I would buy it from Sandoval, but everybody can change. I think everybody can get the help they need. And he's just burnt if he burns this Bravo bridge, he's screwed. So
Yeah,
like have you never seen any of the other shows on Bravo? You know you can do this. You can come back from this. And
yeah,
it's like he might not even be given the option to.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be really interesting because I think we're getting close to Scandoval stuff because now we do know that we're in the episodes that the affair is going on. And
Mm,
so I feel like we're getting somewhat close to them picking up the cameras again and
yeah.
us seeing it kind of play out. And then the season's going to be over. I think it ends, I think the last part of the reunion will end at the end of May. So basically, we've got like a month and a half ish.
No, I don't
I know.
want
I know. Well, that's the thing is like, we're like, well, you're like, I could talk about Scandoval, but I know you already have. I'm like, because we can just talk about it forever until
to. I
it's
know.
suddenly not in our world anymore. Then what? Then we really are going to be like, wow,
Then
that
what
was,
now? Yeah, we're gonna
but
be like, what do we do now?
yeah, but
Ah,
then we'll have some housewives back. Then we'll be like, hopefully, like being given something new to breathe life into our gossip train.
I know, and I do like the Ultimate Girls Trip. That's the Thailand one that's happening. Um,
It's fallen off a little for me.
yeah, it definitely the whole like let's find who stole the tequila bottle is like the dumbest storyline I've
It's
ever seen.
like in all of Housewives.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of maybe like what something else that's like sort of itching my brain. That's like, wait, what about that other one? But anyway, I can't think of it.
I mean, like
Um,
the dog one on Beverly Hills,
dog one wasn't
Lucy
great.
Lucy or whatever it was. It was like
Yeah,
that was like really stupid storyline, but at least there was like something about it. It just went on too long. But it's like,
yeah,
are we truly having a fight over a tequila bottle? And it's an entire episode about it. And then
yeah.
like the next episode is like kind of the fallout of it. I'm like, the tequila bottle is more entertaining at this point than these women.
All that show's making me do is want to go buy that bottle and have it on the rocks. Like and I know how good it is, but it's like,
Oh, you
my
mean because
God,
you can literally go to the store and just buy another bottle? And like, why are
absolutely.
we fighting about it?
because they're not even there that long. They're there for like what, 10 days technically, probably.
Yeah.
You're gonna like you can just get one when you get home. Like
Well, and I think
it's
they're on like day 6 or something. Like it's like, yeah,
yeah.
you're gonna be home in 4 days. Like if you
Yeah.
can't like just drink some Don Julio in the meantime, or you know, whatever else they've got, like just you can figure it out, girl.
I know. It's so crazy. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's good. It's like entertaining. It's I will probably never not watch an Ultimate Girls Trip, even if I hear some bad reviews. I'm gonna watch it because it's
Yeah.
epic. It's all of these women coming together who all know about each other, who have preconceived notions and like opinions on each other, and maybe they've already had beef online or at
Mhm.
BravoCon or something. So I just think it's fascinating when they all get together and they actually talk about the shows. Like that's what I love the most is when they're like, "Oh, on your show this happened." Like I just think it's cute hearing them actually talk about their shows on one of the shows.
Yeah.
Like I just think it's so cool.
Yeah, it's and speaking of BravoCon, we've got to figure out how to go.
I know.
It's Vegas. So
Oh my God, we have
we
to
got to
go.
I know. I just there was such like stories of last year being like so chaotic and stuff that I'm like, well, that doesn't sound fun. So
I
I don't,
know.
and but I think that maybe that's why they like have moved it to like a the capital city where like they put these types of events on, and everyone that
Yeah,
works there like really knows how to like maintain them and manage them. So
true.
hopefully it's going to be better. But yeah, that's going to be fun. And yeah, and for the girls trip stuff, it's we already know the cast of season 4, and we know that there's some serious drama that's coming out of that. So I'm
Yes,
looking forward to that one.
I am too.
And then the next one is rumored to be this like Real Housewives of New York legacy. They were going to do the legacy series. They decided
Yep,
to scrap that, but now they're going to make it this like potentially a return to Scary Island, which would just be amazing.
that would
I
be.
even though
Oh,
it's not like the combination of like all star housewives, it's like, but I think it's going to be like all star New York housewives. And that in itself is like, there's so many big personalities on that cast. And
yep,
everyone's going to be vying to try to like get their moment back on television. Uh,
yeah,
oh, I think it's going to be like really, really epic. I think that could be
yeah.
the biggest one that we've seen so far.
Well, and just like the history they all have and all of the like, when somebody has an argument or has a feud with one of the other housewives and then one of them leaves the show, they probably never got together and like worked it out. Like they're probably I would assume unless they were being filmed that they're probably not going to get together and like be like, let's just bury the hatchet. And
Yeah.
so this is probably like, 10, 15 something years later for some of them not having confronted each other and still probably holding on to grudges. So that
Yeah.
sounds like
I mean,
amazing
I think it
TV.
would be epic. I think that there's probably a lot of people that would not agree with me in this, but I think it would be epic if they could somehow keep it under wraps, but got Bethany, put up the money to get Bethany back
Yeah.
and have her like arrive Jill Zarin style, like where all the
Oh
girls
my God.
have arrived and they all are like sitting poolside, like, okay, well, these are our girls, like, yeah. And Ramona's like turtle timing, and then Bethany's just like, and I'm here. And they,
But like, weren't they getting pedicures by the pool when that
yeah,
happened? So
yeah.
like, definitely, like, if they get pedicures by the pool, we know what's about to go down.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it would be too amazing because we know that they probably won't bring Jill back since Jill's sort of apparently the reason that Legacy fell apart. Um,
Oh,
yeah, she was demanding too much money. And so that's why
oh,
they,
okay, Joe.
yeah, and but she was like demanding money, and then I think she was also like saying like the rest of the women should be paid equally, like we should all be paid the same.
Oh,
And
that's good.
um, but yeah, they scrapped it as a result, and now she's not rumored to be on on this girls trip
Oh, dang it.
version.
That
But
makes
that's
me
where I'm
feel
like,
bad for her.
I know, but I do feel like that's why they need like a Bethany, because like Bethany, if Ramona and Luann and all these people were there not knowing that Bethany was joining, and then Bethany joins, I feel
Oh,
like we might actually see like some serious behind the scenes like diva
oh,
behavior
yeah.
from them. That
I
would be
mean,
amazing.
the last season that, when Bethany decided not to come back, Luann's reaction was so venomous.
Yeah.
She was so pissed that like their biggest star wasn't going to be on the show.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
damn it, the ratings are going to go down.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be amazing.
It would be
We'll
so
have to
good.
wait and see.
I know. But in the meantime, so People That I Love Leave is out everywhere now.
Mm-hmm.
Where can people find you and where can they stay up to date on your upcoming music video, upcoming performances, all of the things?
I am at Cassadee Pope on all of my socials. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I'm on
Hmm.
all of that. I have finally started utilizing YouTube Shorts and YouTube Community because I'm old and didn't realize that was a thing. So I'm doing a lot more over there that people can check out. And yeah, keep
You just
posted to all of
introduced
that.
me. You introduced me to something new. I'm like, whoa, really?
Yeah, it's like, YouTube Community is basically, it's like you can post pictures like on all the other platforms, and
Oh,
shorts are like, you don't have to upload official music videos to those. Those are just, fun little things of content. But yeah, I'm on there. And I'll be announcing the music video date soon, and some other fun things that I'm working on. So everybody keeps posted there. Oh, and the website is now Cassadee.com. So if you type in Cassadee Pope, it'll redirect you, but it's just
yeah.
Cassadee.com now.
Because you only need to be known by one name.
I mean, I don't
You,
know about that. I just like the way it looks.
well, I can say it. It's like you've
Okay.
got you Bet, Share, Cassidy.
Oh, well, I've got a lot to live up to. I
I mean,
got some work to do. I
Shania's one
know.
name.
That's true. That's true.
So you're following in her footsteps.
I hope so. That would
Yeah.
be a nice career to have. Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Well, thank you so much for coming by as always. Very excited to, have the chat about your music and make sure, and of course, as always, as we love to do, talk about Bravo.
Mm,
But I really, truly, again, just want to like say how proud I am of you, of this project that you've put together all on your own. People That I Love Leave is an incredible song. The rest of the music, as I've said, it's unlike anything I've ever heard. You know that I have heard a lot of Cassadee music, a lot of
yeah.
unreleased Cassadee music. So
Yeah.
I have like heard a lot of things, and nothing that I have heard has been like this. It's
Oh,
so, so good. I am so excited about what is to come. And, I'm just glad that you're able to that you're still like you're not so big that you can't come and stop by the gist
oh,
and
stop.
talk to me.
Always. I love talking to you. Thank you for having me again. This is great.
Of course. Well, for all of you out there, make sure that you rate and subscribe. Make sure that you go and get, or I guess, listen or download People That I
Mhm.
Love Leave anywhere that you can find music. And of course, follow Cassidy on all of her socials because she, like I said, is delivering some epic TikToks and lots more. And doing Instagram lives where you can like chat with her and do all kinds of things. So make sure you follow all of her stuff. Again, don't forget to rate and subscribe so you never miss an episode of The Gist. You can follow me at CM Vetrano on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and don't forget to tune in next week. And thanks so much for listening. Bye.